Build a custom trailer for this powerchute Pegasus. I believe it's Pegasus. It's two separate seats. It's a really nice aircraft. My first thing I got to do is go down here and measure the inside diameter between the two rear tires. And I'm going to build it from a Harbor Freight trailer that I bought. It's 8-inch tires. These are going to go on the inside of the trailer compared to the airplane. So it's going to be on the inside of the tires of that. And that's so that the owner can get it inside his garage. So we have a winch, we have another swing arm, and all this is Harbor Freight. And then also Harbor Freight, you'd think I was an advertisement for them, but I'm not. I have a cutoff saw and a welder. So we'll kind of get started, and I'll kind of record this as we go along. So after measuring the main axle, it's the right length. So I've chopped up two of the side rails on the trailer, chopped them in half so that I can come out square with the end of this axle for the trailer. And then I'll weld those on there. Okay, I put 3 skip welds per joint here. And I'm going to have to paint that too because it's going to be under the underside and I don't want it to rust. And then we'll turn it over and skip weld the other side. Okay, this is the top side, and this is actually what's going to be showing on the trailer. And then the tongue is going to go right in the center there. So I'll weld that in. I need to skip weld some welds on this one. Okay, this is going to be the tongue to the trailer her end. And I'm going to put these two small pieces as a connector to, as you can see, this is kind of hard. So I'll just put those in between and I'll weld them up underneath. Okay, I've inserted these pieces as stiffeners to tie the two together, as you can see. Same way with this one. I'm going to tie them together down here and we'll weld that up. We're not going to weld across the flange here because that'll weaken the whole thing, but we can weld, skip weld the sides here. I've welded up the center section here. This is the tongue. And now I'm ready to kind of square it up, and I'll show you how I square it up with the axle. Okay, now we got to square the tongue up so that it will track, the trailer will track true down the freeway or highway or road or whatever. And by doing that, we're going to take a measurement from the axle back there, right at the end of the axle, up to the end of the tongue, and it's going to be our measurement. Then we do the same thing on the other side, and we measure both of them to make sure that they're not even plus and minus a quarter of an inch or so. I wouldn't even go a quarter. Plus or minus an eighth of an inch. You want it really tight. Now that I've tried the tongue to the axle, this also comes, this piece, one on each side, also comes with a trailer kit from Harbor Freight. And I'm going to tie this as a stiffener into the tongue so that we don't get back sway off this axle area, and that'll stiffen that whole area up. Okay, I've welded the two stiffeners to the axle and out to the tongue. So, and these come with a kit, the trailer kit from Harbor Freight, so they just attach really easy. I've mounted the tires on, and let me get kind of around here where you can see this darn thing. So the tires are mounted, and that's the end of the tongue. And now we need to start to customize the whole trailer to fit the aircraft. And the owner wants the trailer to be able to fit into his garage. And so we have the wheels inside the other wheels, as I said before. On the back end, I've got this opening. I'm going to put a kind of a little plug here. It's not for strength. It's more for cosmetic look, so I'll just add that in there. All right, I've put the end cap in, and now I'm just going to put some more little braces on the sides just a kind of maybe cosmetic, but also it's a kind of a brace. All I did was cut this channel and made it into an angle. So I've put the little angles on there. Of course, I painted them. And we got the butt plate. We also have another little channel that I added in front of just to kind of cover up that one gap that was there. And so that pretty much finishes that area. Now I'm going to start over here for the mounting of the for the wheels, the tires for the airplane. I fabricated, I like that word, I fabricated like some outriggers that I'm going to weld to the back of the axle frame, and this is going to be this is going to hold the aircraft tires, and I'll make a little ramp off of that. Alright, we've got our outriggers for the aircraft tires that are going to fit on this with a little ramp and a stop and a hold down. We've put the fender on. I haven't attached it yet because it's got to come up just a little bit higher. But there's our outrigger bracket. Alright, I've got the second fender on and the outrigger for the second fender. And the next step is to put the ramps on that holds the plane, and the ramps that will come up and actually lock the plane into the trailer. Okay, I bought, it's so much easier just to buy the ramps instead of making them by hand. So I bought some ramps from Harbor Freight. These are ATV ramps that you use to put your ATV in a pickup or something. And they're fairly cheap, about $39. I also, being the tire is coming out here so far, I'm going to put another little brace underneath this outrigger so that it'll hold the weight. And the same way with the other side. I've used the Harbor Freight ramps, and I cut them off so that I could use this for a stop up against the tire. I've also made a hinge here because we need to, probably one day he may need to change that tire. So I've taken out a bolt here, and you can actually see this is on a hinge so that he can actually change that tire if he wants. Okay, and then I'll start on the ramp that actually brings the tire up onto the secured ramp, which is this one. I've made the back ramp that the tire actually travels up into the ramp that will hold it, and I'm going to show you. These are my, I call them hinges, but you just weld those on with, and I've got a long bolt here that I put through and just kind of made it a hinge type, and so it hinges up. The reason I do this is I want it to come all the way over, and it's going to lock that tire in. Okay, so by the time we're done, I'm going to have a strap through here, and we'll lock the tire down. With the trailer kit comes this angle that actually it's a little bracket that is for folding the trailer up, and I've cut it in half, and I'm going to put it on. I'm going to show you my simple little hinge. And the way I've hinged this, I've welded up this to the trailer. Then I've taken a piece of rod, which is actually a threaded piece of rod, came through and attached it, and this makes it into like a simple hinge. So that works out that way. It's just a simple little hinge. That way you don't have to buy one. I've pulled the aircraft up on the trailer, of course without the tires, just to see where it lines up so that I can start putting on the ratchet. You can see like a little come along winch, and I'll put a stop out here in the front and a swing bar, so or swing leg. It's got a little wheel on it, and so and then I'll have to put straps over the top of those to hold that back end wheel down. So there'll be a strap that goes right over the top of the tires. I've added my strap. This is going to lock the tire in, And I've drilled the holes for a hitch pin. And of course there's my homemade hinge again. And we'll kind of round off that edge right here so that nobody gets banged on it, so just round it off. This will go into the ramp leading up to the trailer and lock each other together. And some angle iron and cut it up so that I can make it's a track actually for the front wheel to come down on the tongue here, and it's a track so that the front wheel can kind of follow along. And then I'll put a stop in here so the front wheel actually butts up against it. I've made the railings for the front tire. It's kind of a guide railing for the front tire to follow. I'm now going to put on the rear tires. I've put that one on. And again, I think I already showed you the ramps that I made here on a hinge, so the tire can actually slide right up on it. And lock in there. Now, I'm going to actually, hang on a minute, what I wanted to show was the tire movement and this nut that actually locks the wheel in place. Some people tighten these too much, and actually that burns the bearing out. So you want a little slop in this wheel. So tighten it up and back it off about, quarter to maybe not quite a half a turn, because you don't want that thing tighter. You'll burn the bearing out. Now that I've got the tire on, I'm going to bring the ramp back down, and I'm going to lock it in place with this little 1/4 inch bolt. It's going to go all the way through. And that locks that, just holds it in place. Okay. I pulled the aircraft up on the trailer, and I want about a 2-inch incline. So the front end is going to be about 2 inches higher than the back end. And the reason for that is I don't want it level, because then it's hard to get the aircraft off the trailer. This way it kind of rolls off by itself. Everything's going to be locked in, so we don't have to worry about it rolling off going down the freeway. So we've got about a 2-inch incline. I now have to put on the winch is only temporary, and I need to put the hitch on, the winch, and the swing arm. I forgot to show how I locked the rear tire in with this strap. So I put the strap in, then I put a hitch pin in through the strap, which locks this this ramp up against the tire. So it doesn't move anywhere at this time. Then I'll also show you how I'm going to lock that front tire in. I've installed the, it's called a swing wheel, or jack for the trailer. And I don't trust these things. They always seem to work themselves loose during vibration and traveling down the road. So I've put a small weld right here. And I've also tacked each one of the nuts so that they won't come loose. I've installed the winch and the trailer jack. So let me show you how the winch is. And the owner can actually devise a different way of hooking this up to the aircraft if he wants. But that is how the winch is installed. Now for the hitch, the owner's hitch is 19 inches off the ground. So I have to build up from the trailer, build up the hitch that hooks onto the trailer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld all these together to make another 8 inches, plus what's off the ground already on the trailer would be about 10 inches, so that'd be 18 inches. And that'll give him, plus that 2 inches I said would in the elevation to get the trailer off, so that'll add up. This is almost the finished product of my hitch, but I'm going to put a little plate, kind of sand that up and grind it and tack it or weld it right into the back of this and kind of make it cosmetically look a little better. This is the finished project of the hitch, and I'm going to put, the hitch will go up here and bolt right into the plate, the bracket that I made, and then This is high enough that it'll go right onto the owner's car. Okay, that part of the front is done. I'm now going to move back here, and I'm going to put a locking, I'm going to have like a hinge of some kind that's going to lock this front tire in. Okay, this is my simple lockdown front wheel thing. I've kind of bolted it here as a hinge, made this plate as a hinge, and then this will come up and lock with a hitch pin. So you can see this comes up and actually locks onto the wheel. The hitch pin comes through, if I can get that through there, let me see. Hitch pin comes through and locks this whole, and now the front wheel can't go anywhere. It's virtually locked down in place. So that's my simple hold down for that front wheel. Anybody can copy it if they like it or whatever. So it's just simple. All right, all I have left on this trailer is the electrical or the lighting system. And with the Harbor Freight Tools trailer kit comes all the electrical, even the license plate holder, marker lights, wiring, nuts and everything. Everything is just included with this little kit. So I'll start mounting that on the trailer. Well, we've completed our wiring and completed the trailer. There's the little marker lights, and the plug is up here in the front that the owner can plug in. So this little trailer is now complete. With the trailer tires inbound like that, it also fits into a 2-car garage. There's not that much room, but there's enough room to walk by, so it fits very well with the trailer tires inbound. Outbound, it'd be way out here by that line, which would be really tight.